I want to know what the Imam was doing there. Despite the advice of the national chief Imam, why the Imam that is supposed to be law-abiding in keeping with the teachings of the Quran and the Sunnah, that is supposed to obey his own leader first and foremost, why did he go there despite the fact that we advised them not to go there to resist? So we want to know. It's just a question. We want to know, want to find out what he was doing there. Because we can't just condemn blindly. That is the issue on that one. Number two, those who say we were not balanced, talking about balance, that we condemn those who resisted the enforcement of law, but we failed to condemn police brutality. And so they now are trying to be balanced in their view by saying, yes, we condemn the resistance to the enforcement of law, but he should have also condemned the brutality of the police. And I said they are hypocritical. They are being hypocritical. Because this land issue and the resistance to the enforcement of the law did not start in November. It started in late September. When the Judge Peter Benewele sent his sheriff to ensure that the land was given to the appropriate owner in keeping with the ruling of the Supreme Court. The people resisted. Some of them took court license against law enforcement. Those who are talking about balance today, none of them condemned that act. They were quiet for more than 1 month. It is today because they want to get at us that they're now saying, oh, you should have been balanced. No, you should have condemned the first illegality that took place, the resistance to law enforcement, the anarchical behavior of some of the people should have been condemned in the first place. Then you will be justified in criticizing us. But I must say, we deliberately decided not to condemn the police this time. The Mandingo people, they are among some of the greatest people in the history of Africa. They created and ran the most successful and greatest empire in the history of Africa. We know them. The Mandingo people are very progressive people. In fact, recently I was honorably named a Dukle. And I honorably, proudly accept that. Because the Dukles actually are enlightened people too. I'm not saying others are not enlightened. My closest friends, two closest friends in life when I discuss personally, Salia Dukle in Australia, Mohamed Sanoy in the United States of America. Yes, they are very progressive Mandingos. But it is time for those progressive Mandingos to rein in those backward reactionary elements among them who think that they are the custodians of Islam in this country and that they are Islam, that anything happens to them, they happen to Islam. If it happens to any other person, even if that person is a Muslim, it has nothing to do with Islam. That has to change, and we are not going to bow to that misrepresentation of Islam. We will not submit to it. So it is time for the progressive Muslims in this country to stand up, including the progressive Mandingos, to tell those people Islam is not a tribal religion. You talk about people discriminating against you, discriminate against other people too. And we have to address that. That is an issue we have to address. We always say it is sensitive. It's sensitive. If we continue to say it's sensitive, this will continue to happen in this country. So, it is up to everybody to decide. But I must say here, the days when people held Islam hostage because of personal or tribal reasons in this country, those days are gone. And they are gone forever. In 2023, when Jeff Koji organized the post-Ramadan iftar, I raised the issue of the holiday again. But then he said something that was both eye-opening and startling. And this is what we'll review today. They were there. And maybe some of the journalists here will remember. Jeff Koji said that you blame us for not declaring holiday. But Muslims sat in that mansion during the transitional government periods. Alaji Jifi Kurman sat there. Segudamata Kone sat there. Muslims sat there. They didn't declare holiday for you. So you are being hypocritical in the sense to demand it from us. He talked about Amara Kone and the likes that were in the UP government, etc. That didn't do it. Liberian Post said, my mouth was full. So I said, this is an indictment of the Muslim community, that our wounds are self-inflicted. That it seems we don't even care about ourselves, and yet we blame others for not caring for us. Yet it is our right to demand it. In spite of the fact that some of our own were there and didn't give it to us, we continue to demand it, including this year on 2 different occasions. And we did so fiercely. So that holiday question is handled. The other issue is the issue of police brutality. Why didn't we condemn the police there and then and stop there? Julius, I'm a citizen of Liberia. And Muslims in this country are citizens of Liberia. And that's why we've been advocating. Some of our people erroneously believe that we came from Guinea yesterday. And I'll tell you, before, those who said the love of liberty brought us here, before they came here, the Mandingo people were here for more than 100 years. The Mandingo Muslims were here for more than 100 years. Let's set that record straight. But this notion that when something happens to Liberians, generally, other Liberians, whether it's a Bassa or a Gio or a Kra, between Liberian citizens and law enforcement is a matter for the government and civil society. It is not Muslim affairs. It is only when it happens to a Muslim person that a Muslim should now stand up. We have to change that mindset. We are Liberians. And so we say to ourselves, the issue of police brutality will be addressed separately. And it will be addressed holistically. It will not be because an imam has been touched today. People have been brutalized. When Comrade Waters Sulu were mercilessly brutalized in the CDC regime, we didn't say anything. Well, yeah. And no Muslim raised their finger. That was a moral failure on our part. And it's been happening. Mohammed Manabai, last year, was killed in Banjo. I'm not saying harassed. I'm not saying brutalized. He was murdered by a police officer. He was a Muslim. Nobody chanted Takbir. Nobody said Allahu Akbar. District 17 is the largest district in terms of population in this country. The majority of the people in District 17 are Muslims. You don't hear them raising religious issues because one of their own is victimized. So this perception, this mindset, that certain people, a certain group, that they are Muslims and they are Islam, that only when it happens to them, then it happens to Islam. When it happens to others, no, it's not an Islam issue. It's a Liberian issue. When it happens to them, it's an Islam issue. That mindset has to be eradicated. And that is why we said no. We're not just going to address this issue. The day we address police brutality, we address it holistically. And we want the government to act.